Hi, I'm Chris Thompson with Mountaineer IT, and I want to go over some 3CX tech tips and phone routing inside the program. This is a little bit of a complicated type of thing, but hopefully we'll get through it. So once you log into your 3CX server, you're at the dashboard here. We'll start from the beginning and we'll kind of work through the process here. So at the beginning, we want to set up our SIP trunk and our PBX server so they're talking together and making sure that the DIDs are also showing up. So in here on the left, we want to go to our SIP trunk. And we'll add in the trunk that our service provider, AT&T or SIPTruck.com or Northlink Cable or Calor.net provide. So in here, we would set it up with all the information that our provider provides us. And then down here at the bottom, there's going to be route calls too. And then this is where we would want any calls that go from that SIP trunk to go to a digital receptions group or go to a specific extension. Now this is kind of a broad thing, so what it is pretty much any number that doesn't have an inbound rule will this rule here will take place. It'll take over. So right now what I have is I have it set up so that destination for calls during office hours are going to an auto reception group that I made. And then destinations for calls outside of the office are going to another pretty much reception group, but it's an out of office one. It just pretty much has a general greeting of like, thank you for calling Mountaineer IT, our office is closed, this is our hours, please leave a message and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. And it's nice to do it this way because then your customers don't have to sit there on the phone and listen to rings and rings and rings and rings until it finally gets to a voicemail. When you have office hours set, it will just know it's after hours and it'll automatically go straight to that secondary message saying that we're closed, these are the hours, and then it'll go right to voicemail. So it's a little bit more convenient for your customer, and it's just kind of letting them know that you are closed and that you're not ignoring them. And then at the bottom here, you would check this little box, set specific hours for this trunk, and then you set up your office hours here. Now this again is just very broad. This covers the whole entire guide, but you can actually set office hours individually for each individual extension that you want. And I'm pretty sure that they override the SIP trunk's settings. So now that we've got the SIP trunk going, we also want to provide it with the phone numbers that our service provider gave us, which are DIDs, or direct inward dial numbers. So we set up all the numbers that we have been provided by our service provider, or that we got that we wanted. Then once we've got that going, then we would go to extensions, and we would make our extensions in here. So we have a few in here. So let's just pick mine. So once we've made an extension with a number, with the 101 or 102 or 103. Then we give it, all the information that we want. Mobile numbers, just if you ever have to forward your extension to your cell phone or something like that if you're out of the office. Outbound caller ID is just when you do call other extensions and things like that, it shows up on the phones that you're calling. Authentication, this makes it so that it lets you provision phones to connect to the server with this extension. So if you were to use this username and this password on a actual handheld device, that's how it would authenticate to the server and obtain that extension information and know that it's your phone with all the routing inside. So when someone was to call your main company number and they want, they hit 2 for Chris Thompson, it would then route it to this extension, and then this is how my hard phone on my desk would know to ring. Alright, and then there's a couple of ways you can create inbound rules for direct internal dial numbers. So not only can you get a hold of my phone through a ring group you can also call me directly, so I have my own phone number for my phone on my desk. So that's what this add a DID here. So you can click add a DID. You can pick a DID out of the list of numbers that you have, and then that's really it. And it'll automatically create an inbound rule for you. So if we were to go back up here and go to inbound rules, it will automatically show a inbound rule right here for us. Now you can do it the other way, where you could go into inbound rules and then create a rule that says, you know, this phone number always goes to this extension, and it'll show up in both the extension and in this list as well. So that's the two ways you can make it so you can have direct numbers to different people. So what happens is when we're in the SIP trunk and we told it to go to a digital receptions group, we can go into digital receptions, and then in here I have it going to the main one during business hours. So if we go to the main one, I have it so that when they get it, it automatically comes up with this voice recording that I set up, and in the recording I say, please press 1 for all office, or please press 2 for the service department, or please press 3 for, you know, something else. So then down here in the menu options, I can actually specify that key number 1 equals connecting to a ring group, that then equals all office, and then same thing here, so connecting to a ring group equals service department. So how we do that is we can create what's called ring groups in here, and what a ring group is making it so that it will ring multiple phones at the same time or in session. So if one doesn't pick up, it'll ring the next one. If that one doesn't pick up, it'll ring the next one. So once you've made up these ring groups, or made one up, you can actually add the members in here. So who do you want to be calling? So I just have it so that it calls pretty much everyone when it's all office, so that, you know, if for a reason I'm away from my desk or I'm out of the office, one of the other guys will get the phone call, and so we don't miss your call as a customer. Now you could set up direct dial numbers as well. So if you have a specific phone number that you want to ring a specific set of phones, you can do that. So you can actually have one phone number ring multiple phone in an office, which is really nice. I mean, you can do that with old landlines, but this is the way in a digital world to do that as well. So you can create as many ring groups as you want, and you just tell the auto reception, the digital receptionist, to dial those numbers when they press a certain number at the beginning there. So you can also do it so, like, if they want to press C3, they can either end a call, they can connect to a specific extension, so it doesn't even have to be a ring group. So they can go to an extension, and then you change the parameters to contact a extension that you've made. So, you know, myself or Lloyd or one of the other guys here. So then that's how you do the routing for that, and it's not too bad. Another thing, if you have faxes, you can create, go down to setting, and you can create a fax server, and this is actually kind of nice. So what you're doing is you're saying that you can set up an email address for the fax server, faxes. I just have it fax at mountaineerit.com. It kind of gives you a default extension, 888. And then you can have a 888 and a username and password as well. So if you had an actual dedicated fax machine, you could use that to authenticate to this as well, and it would receive and send faxes. But then I set up a DID, or direct internal number. So when you were to fax something to this specific number, it will automatically, the system will route it to the fax service. The fax service would translate it in the language of fax, and then I have it so it automatically sends me an email to fax at mountaineerit.com. So I have it so that I receive my faxes in my email address, then by this way, under settings and then fax server. Now another thing you do within routing is in extensions, when someone's calling and they leave a voicemail for like me, for instance, it will go to this email address. So if they were to call my direct number and leave a message, it goes directly to this email address that you put in here. So remember that if you're setting up new extensions, where do you want the voicemail to go if you are going to do it by email. So in email, there's a couple options you can do in here where you can tell it that you want to send as attachment or delete from delete from the mailbox, or send as attachment only and keep it in the mailbox. Little things like that. So then in the inbound rules, all these DIDs are pretty much created inside the extension. So all my guys here, we all have our own phone number on our phones, on top of having a ring group. Where it rings everybody. So most people don't know our internal numbers, but if you wanted to, let's say you're working on a web meeting or something like that, and you give out your direct number to someone, they can just call your desk and not interrupt the whole entire office. Now outbound rules are a little bit complicated. So we have to set parameters because phone numbers are different digits, right? So we have a 572-1955, or we have a 530-572-1955, or we have a 1-530-572-1955. So we have all those different types of digits that we have to tell the server how to talk with that with the provider. So we set up a couple different ones. So we can set up a local one where we telling it it's a 7-digit number. So it's 572-1955, and then we want it to route out our SIP trunk service that we set up in the SIP trunk here. And then inside here, when in the editing rules, that's where we tell it the length, what the rule name is. So I just call it local because it's just mean anyone where it needs only 7 digits you can use. But I have it set up so that it prepends 1530 and then it's stripped digits. So it's not technically stripping any digits right now, so it just adds in the 1530-572-1955 automatically for me. So when I call out, it puts all that information in the call so that the other end knows how to read it. Now for long distance, it's a 10-digit, so it's 530-572-1955. We're going over the SIP trunk here, and then we're telling it the length of the numbers, telling it the trunk here, and then prepend 1. So we're just telling it that needs to be 1 digit, 1-530-572-1955, and it'll automatically put that into the number into it, and it'll be working fine. And then same with this guy, this default one. This is one that's just kind of covers all the bases. I like to put all these in here. So 8 through 9, 11 through 14, it's just set up and that's it. I don't really have it do anything else. It just pretty much covers the other phone numbers. So if there was some odd phone number or something like that. And that's it for the outbound rules. As long as you have those set up and your SIP trunk set up and your inbound and extension set up, it'll start working. It'll be very easy to go. In the digital receptions group, one thing I noticed that was a little odd was when you set up a SIP trunk destination for calls outside office hours, it doesn't give you, in the extension, it doesn't give you the holiday menu that's pre-made by 3CX. I could not find it here. So I made my own digital reception group for out of office. So then when I went to the digital receptions here, I have an out of office and I gave it the mtit.closed prompt. And then right now I have it so it does nothing, but in the future if I ever have like clients that are after hours, I can tell it to go to a specific extension or go to a person who's on call. So I kind of set this up where it's pretty simple right now, but in the future it'll be very easy to update if I need to. And I think that's it. If there's any questions, you can always leave it in the prompts or give us a call or ticket, and I hope that helps you out. Have a great day. Thank you very much for watching.